Youth Quad C Final.
And here we are into the second 500 of the Women's Youth Quad C Final. From 30 entries, we are looking at places 13 through 20 that will be determined here shortly in a few minutes once this race wraps up. But first in lane order, in lane 1, we have South Jersey. Lane 2, Row America Rye. Lane 3, Space Coast. Lane 4, Conestoga. Lane 5, Nereid. Lane 6 is OKC Riversport. Lane 7, Newport Sea Base, and Lane 8, Hockaday. Currently, our leaders toward the center of the racecourse. It does appear to be Conestoga, closely followed in lane 5 by Nereid, with again another close race that we have on our hands. It's still in the first half of this race, so still a lot of race left to be rode here, so a lot could happen, but also a lot could happen in terms of gaps that were taken off of the start. Maybe the base is someone's, bread and butter, and so that's going to allow them to work their way back up into this race after maybe falling off of the pace a little bit from the start, so that has yet to be determined. But as we are a little over 3 minutes into this race, about to get into the second half, it is still Conestoga out in front, lengthening right now, with Nereid still chasing them very closely behind, with Space Coast being our next fastest, who is eaten into the lead that Nereid had on them, potentially going to overtake them before we reach the 1,000.
Yeah, Conestoga looks strong out there. They continue to maintain about that length lead over Nereid. One of the things that's amazing that we can see with these HT cameras as they come through 1,000 meters, we start to see some times. You see there's a decal on the side of the Nereid boat. It's a decal from World Rowing, meaning that they probably use that boat either as a training boat or as a racing boat in a World Championship level event. It also says USA on it, so typically they will have country codes as well. And so that was a USA national team boat that these women are getting to row in for Nereid in this C final of the Women's Youth Quad. Just one of those little things that you can pick up on because we have such great cameras. You can see it's still a length lead as you have that beautiful picture overhead of what Conestoga is doing to maintain that one length lead on the field. Nereid still in second, Space Coast still in third. But and we're starting to see sort of a chevron in this one, a little bit more so, Lindsay. But as they come through 1250, I can guarantee you when we see the rest of the field, you're going to see some races within the race. Not to mention you've got Nereid only about a half a length there ahead of Space Coast. So that is a race within the race. Then you see this lane 6, 7, 8 all coming through along with lanes 1 and 2. Everybody is there. 5 boats connected behind those top 3.
And through the middle portion there into that third 500, Space Coast was about to challenge Nereid to take over the lead, but Nereid definitely answered and pushed back out to have at least a few seats, if not a half a length lead over Space Coast. So Nereid, I don't want to say comfortably because a few seats is not a comfortable margin by any stretch at this point over to have control of second place as we get ready to enter into the last 500. The only thing that seems to be a little bit comfortable is Conestoga, not just that they're out where they are, but to be at this point in the race, to be where they are, They have taken control early and maintained control and continued to take maybe even a little bit more control as they've broken to clear water, open water over. There's no longer overlap between the bow and stern of them and Nereid. So it appears, unless barring any change, that Conestoga will take this from beginning to end by a decent margin, and Nereid is going to, we can already see by the body language of the boat itself, that they are also going to step it up, potentially sprint a little bit early, which is certainly taking Space Coast with them. And it does appear to be OKC River Sport in the lane adjacent to Nereid, who is currently sitting in 4th place. South Jersey and Row America Rye, that battle on the far side of the course, is putting a little bit of pressure on OKC River Sport. They don't have a coxswain to help them out to know what's going on so far, way far across the lanes from them, but that doesn't really matter because Newport Seabase and the Dark Hall right next to OKC River Sport and Hockaday as well are right there putting pressure on OKC River Sport. Hockaday might have even snuck past OKC River Sport in the last 250 meters, as they are certainly charging on the near shore. Hockaday School is charging as they enter that last 250-meter red buoys.
Yep, the Hockaday School out of Dallas, they are moving in that lane 8. Maybe they're being pushed along by hearing the crowd just a little bit more than the other lanes further away from the beach. Continues to be Conestoga, and it does look like they are in control still as Nereid tries to push them. Nereid's still in a solid 2nd place ahead of 3rd place Space Coast. And then look at these 5 boats. We're going to have connection, it appears, for 5 boats behind those top 3. So that's kind of what we've seen over the last 700 or so meters, as OKC River Sport maybe loses their course just a little bit, went a little bit to starboard. They're still in their lane, shouldn't be an issue. As you see Conestoga winning this thing by a length ahead of Nereid. Nereid half a length of open water ahead of Space Coast. And then it's going to come down to it, but you're right, Lindsay. The Hockaday School appears that they are going to grab